It was the 2nd of January, 2:04 a.m., when a knock at the door jolted me awake. Music. A slow, steady knock, one hit every 3 seconds. My heart pounded as I slipped on my slippers and crept downstairs. The knocking grew faster, like a racing heartbeat, but just as I reached the door, it stopped. I hesitated, staring through the peephole. Nothing. The street outside was empty. The cold air seeped through the cracks of the door as I stood there, trying to make sense of it. Maybe some kids were playing a prank. Shaking my head, I climbed back upstairs and slipped under my blankets, convincing myself it was nothing. At 4:21 a.m., the sound of the front door slamming shut snapped me out of sleep. I sat up, frozen. My breath hitched as I turned toward my frosted window. My stomach dropped. Words were etched into the frost. Smile. I reached for my phone, my fingers trembling. But when I picked it up, my blood ran cold. A message was already waiting on the screen. I told you to smile. Panic set in. I grabbed my jacket and bolted. I ran outside, the icy pavement stinging my bare feet. Desperate, I pounded on my neighbor's door. They opened it and pulled me inside, holding me as I broke down. The police arrived at 5:40 a.m. They searched my house thoroughly but found nothing. No footprints, no signs of forced entry, no messages on the window. My phone had no texts, no evidence of the message I had seen. The officers exchanged glances before advising me to get some rest, suggesting stress or anxiety might be playing tricks on my mind, but I knew what I saw. The next day, after spending time at my neighbor's, I gathered enough courage to return home. That night, determined to prove I wasn't imagining things, I set up a camera in my room. I positioned it to capture my bed and the bedroom door, pressed record, and crawled into bed. Sleep came easier, probably from exhaustion. Morning arrived, and I felt relief. Nothing had happened. But when I reviewed the footage, my relief turned to sheer horror. At 3 a.m., something moved. A figure slowly emerged from under my bed. My breath caught in my throat. The thing was naked, its body sickly thin, skin stretched tightly over its bones. It stood up, staring directly at me as I slept. For an hour, it didn't move, just stood there, watching. Then it moved. It stepped toward the camera, its face coming closer and closer until it filled the frame. Its skin was pale, veins bulging from its head. Its eyes were completely black, lifeless, yet filled with something terrifying. And then there was its mouth, a wide, unnatural grin stretching ear to ear. For 2 hours, it didn't blink. It simply stared into the camera, tilting its head slightly every few minutes. A silent, eerie game of patience. Then, without warning, it turned and crawled back under my bed. My hands shook as I skipped through the footage. At dawn, I saw myself waking up, unaware of what had lurked beneath me the entire night. But the final seconds of the footage sent chills down my spine. The creature never left. It was still under my bed. That was the last night I slept in that house.